Hello, I am Joseph. I am a UNCP nursing student, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over hand washing for older adults. So, hand washing is very, very important, just as a preface, to make sure that we don't spread any sort of infections, particularly respiratory infections. Obviously, this is very important considering we're going through the COVID pandemic right now. Hand washing is very, very important in preventing the spread. So, let's go over how germs are spread. That way, you know when to wash your hands. So, germs are spread when you touch your face with unwashed hands. Your nose, your eyes, and your mouth, most specifically. It's very important to know that this is how germs are spread. The second way would be when you're preparing or eating food and drinks with unwashed hands. You want to know that it's important to wash your hands before you do any of this stuff so that those germs aren't spread, especially in those that make food or meals for other people. It's very, very important to know that you have your hands washed so that germs aren't spread. The other one would be when touching a contaminated surface or objects. A few examples of this would be you touch a shopping cart handle when you're out shopping, or a gas pump handle when you're pumping gas. This is an example of some of the ways how someone else's germs can be spread, not directly through another person, but by a contaminated surface or other objects. Germs can also be spread by blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing onto your hands, and then going to touch other people's hands, or they blow their nose, cough or sneeze into their hands, and then they go and touch a common object. Most notably, door handle is a very, very good example of something that people touch with unclean hands, and is just a very, very good example of a site of where germs are. So it's very important that we wash our hands to help prevent the spread of disease. So a few key examples of when to wash your hands would be before, during, and after preparing food. For others or for yourself, you obviously don't want any germs getting into that, because as we mentioned previously up here, touching your face or getting anything in your mouth that has germs is not very good. And it can be prevented most times by washing your hands. The next one would be before eating any food. Pretty much same thing as before. It's very important to wash your hands before you eat anything. Another would be before and after caring for someone who is sick. This is important because not only does hand washing after you do this and before it protect you, but it also protects the sick person, because you don't want any of your germs affecting them. You don't want to make them any sicker than they currently are, and afterwards you definitely don't want to get anybody else sick. This is very, very important now, considering we have COVID going around. Another would be after going to the bathroom, we want to make sure we wash our hands. There's a lot of germs in bathrooms, and we definitely don't want to be bringing those out into anywhere else in the world. Definitely wash your hands, especially after going to the bathroom. Another would be, as we mentioned up here, after blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing. You don't want those germs from you going to someone else or another object that could be touched by other people. And another one would be after touching any animals, specifically pets like cats and dogs, and their food. Definitely just wash your hands after doing that. And my final one for you would be after touching any garbage. So after you take out the trash, you want to make sure that the germs that you have on your hands after caring for waste is rinsed away, washed away. You definitely don't want that being spread anywhere. Hi. In this part of the video, I'm going to be going over correct hand washing technique. So the first step is going to be turn on the water. I like warm water, so make it warm and rinse your hands with the water. Make sure it's warm before you do any of the other steps, okay? And once it's warm, you're gonna turn it off, apply some soap, lather your hands with soap, for a while until you're completely sure that you got soap everywhere. Make sure especially to get under your fingernails. It's very important because these harbor a lot of germs, and you want to make sure that you get everywhere, okay? So once that's done, you're going to turn the water back on again, and you're going to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. And a good way to remember how long that is, if you don't want to count out 20 seconds, is to sing or hum Happy Birthday to yourself 2 times, and make sure that you do that for at least 20 to 30 seconds to prevent any germs that really don't go away at the very beginning. So make sure, like I said, you get your fingernails, and in between your fingers is also very important. And once you're done, you're going to take a clean towel, dry your hands, and turn off the sink, okay? Now, you can also air dry your hands if you don't like to use a towel, but most people use the towel or paper towel. Especially if you're out and about, just use a paper towel, touch the sink handle with the paper towel. You don't want to just grab it after you clean your hands because there's germs and stuff all over there. Alternatively, if you can't wash your hands with soap and water, which is the best way to do it, you can also use hand sanitizer. This stuff's become quite a commodity during this pandemic. However, if you have any lying around, I definitely suggest you use it because not everybody carries a sink. But what can you carry? You can carry a hand sanitizer in your purse or just leave one in your car. That's what I do. So the key thing to remember with hand sanitizer is the best type is if it has over 60% alcohol. This one has 62% alcohol, so I know I can use it. And the correct procedure for doing that, pretty straightforward. You just plop a little bit on your hand, rub it in for about 20 seconds. Make sure, like I said, you get in between your fingers as well as in your fingernails. And you just want to make sure you do that for, like I said, at least 20 seconds. Same rules apply, except this will most of the time dry on its own, so you won't need a towel or, like I said, any paper towels or anything. So just make sure that you get your hands all nice and dry. And then once you're done with that, you should be good to go. Hi, so to end this video, I'd just like to go over essentially a summary of what we've captured today. So I went over why it's important to hand wash, and that being really just to mainly prevent any sort of germs from being spread so that you don't get sick. Then I went over times when it's important to wash your hands. So like I said, after you go to the bathroom, whenever you're dealing with any sort of food, stuff like that. And all this information is found on the CDC government's website, and it includes all sorts of information regarding articles about hand washing and how it's good. So this is a very well-researched topic, and it's very important that if you have any questions, feel free to go right ahead up to that website. They're the experts. I highly recommend you listen to them. So thank you for letting me inform you all about hand washing.